As I mentioned, we are studying the meaning of the Mrigashirsha Nakshatra mantra. And the first part, as I mentioned, is the Puronavakya mantra, that is from Somo Raja Mrigashirshena Agan up to Retah Prajam Yajamane Tadhatu is the Puronavakya mantra. Some of you who might have missed the definition of Puronavakya. Puronavakya means where we actually praise and invoke the particular Devata who is the presiding deity of that particular nakshatra. So the Devata here is of course Soma, and Puronavakya mantra is where we are invoking that Devata along with the nakshatra, because he comes in the constellation. So you can imagine that the nakshatra is, that constellation of the nakshatras actually forms the chariot or the vehicle for that particular Devata and carries. And therefore somebody has to transport the Devata to our Yajna Shala, and that will be done by the constellation of the nakshatra. And that nakshatra, you can imagine that it is the chariot of the particular Devata who brings. So Mrigashirsha Nakshatra constellation is the chariot of the Devata Soma. We will see who this Soma is, what is his significance, what is his importance as we continue our study of the Devatas of the Nakshatras. So the second part, Yatte Nakshatram Mrigashirshamasti and up to Shanna Yedhidupadeshan Chatushpade, as I defined, is the Yajya mantra. That is, once you have invoked the Devata to the Yajnashala, you have to offer the oblations. So you will see all the nakshatra mantras are divided into two parts. The first part is the Puronavakya mantras, and the second part is the Yajya mantras. So in all the rituals, you must be very careful that you chant the first part of the mantra, and for that mantra you don't give the Swahakara. Only after you chant the second part of the mantra, you say that Adidevata Pratyadidevata Sahitaya Mrigashirsha Adidevata Somaya Idannamama Somaya Swaha Somaya Idannamama. So in this phrase, Somo Raja Mrigashirshena Agan is an interesting formation of the verb. As I many times indicated, we must catch the verb to understand the meaning of a sentence. Here Agan is the verb. What it means is Agachatu, that is, may Somo Raja come. Agan is the Kriyapada, or it is the verb in this sentence. May Soma please come here. So since this is the part of the Taittiriya Brahmana Karmakanda, that is, this is part of the mantras used in the ritual. Therefore, when we say Somo Raja Agachadu, may Soma come where? So what is the context here? The context is, it is the yajna is going on, so to the yajna vedi. So the mantra, though it does not have the word that he must come to the yajna vedi, actually we are inviting him to come to the yajna vedi, or the altar of the yajna. So again, who is this Mrigashirsha? This Mrigashirsha is the locus or the place for Soma. And then this Soma Devata, with his vehicle of Mrigashirsha, on this vehicle, I welcome Raja Soma, Somo Raja Soma, to my Yajna Vedi. So Soma is not only the king of this nakshatra, not only the king of the nakshatra Mrigashirsha, but also he is the nakshatra of all Dvijas. So who is a Dvija? Dvijanmanaha, one who has taken a second birth. What do we mean by second birth? First, it is a natural birth, biological birth. The second birth is where you have been initiated with the Gayatri mantra. It is only when you have been initiated with the Gayatri mantra by a competent guru in a ritual called the Upanayana Samskara, then only he becomes a Dvija. Now the question is, usually the Upanayana Samskara is done for only the men or boys, and we are not doing the actual Upanayana Samskara to the women. So that means, are we disenfranchising the whole gender of the women? The answer is not, because if you give the Gayatri Mantropadesha to any one of the members of your family, then all the other members of the family are also considered as initiated. As I have many times given the authority, it is there in the Rigveda, which says, now that you have learned, you go and teach this to everybody in your household, including your maid servants and those who take care of your cattle. So, when you get the Upadesha, it is equal to getting the Upadesha of everybody in the household. So, what if the other members of the household do not do the japa, Vedadhyayana and all that? You must do it. When you do the Vedadhyayana, the entire family actually gets the benefit of Vedadhyayana. Because sometimes what happens, the men who are initiated will do the Vedadhyayana, and then they are initiated but they don't recite the Vedas. So it may be a wife, it may be a son, it may be a daughter. Whoever does the Vedadhyayana, it actually blesses the entire family. So there is no question of disenfranchising anybody. And therefore, all the families where there has been initiation of the Gayatri Mantra is a Dvija. But this is a part of the rituals, Karma Kanda. So Dvija is usually the three Varnas, that is Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya. And those competent worthy students that the Guru finds, even though the person is not born in one of these three Varnas, that is Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, if the teacher chooses to initiate a person, then that person also becomes a Dvija. We have seen evidence of this, myriad evidence of this in the Veda and the Upanishad, where a competent student, even though born not in any of these three Varnas, are also initiated. And therefore, this Somo Raja, what is the quality of the Mrigashirsha Nakshatra? It is Asya Somasya Priyam Dhama. If you look at the mantra, Asya Somasya Priyam Dhama, and it is also Shivam Nakshatram. The meaning is Sarvesham Mangalapradam Mrigashirsha Nakshatram. So, because Mrigashirsha Nakshatra constellation is most beloved location, beloved place to park himself, being Mrigashirsha Nakshatra, it is Sarvesham Mangalapradam, it is the auspicious bestover to everybody, and therefore the mantra says Shivam Nakshatram. Shivam means auspicious. So, what do we glean from here? Mrigashirsha Nakshatra is auspicious, Shivam Nakshatram. It is the locus where Soma is there, but it is not just a place he sits, but it is his favorite place, Priyam Dhama. This you will see, a kind of an unwritten convention is there in everybody's home. Each one of us will have a favorite place to sit. And then usually nobody else sits in that place. This is there even in our even though we don't think about it. So, but here it is Priyandhama. Soma will go and sit on Mrigashirsha Nakshatra, that is his favorite seat, where he watches the entire world at TV. He watches TV sitting there. So, therefore, Mrigashirsha Nakshatra constellation is the means to carry Soma. So the means is Shivam Nakshatram. So when the means is Shivam Nakshatram, what does it mean? Its characteristic, its nature is actually auspiciousness. So wherever it goes, it is auspicious. Any place you see Mrigashirsha Nakshatra, any place you see Mrigashirsha Nakshatra in conjunction with the moon, that is an auspicious day. So therefore we say that you come here with your vehicle. So you don't have to specially ask Soma, hey Soma, please give me auspiciousness. When his Ratha comes, the Mrigashirsha Nakshatra comes, it is already auspiciousness. Now what about himself? Of course he is sitting in this auspicious vehicle, Nakshatra. What about himself? He is Janeshu Bahudha Apyayamanaha. Janeshu Bahudha Apyayamanaha. Janeshu, which Janeshu? For those who recognize this, for those who worship, for those who are sensitive enough to see this relationship. For them, Apyayamanaha. Apyayamana means one who pleases constantly. And then what is this? What are the pleasures he gives? Bahudha. In a variety of ways he gives auspiciousness. So what exactly is auspiciousness? Wherever you have comfort and then wherever good things are happening to you, swasti. Wherever, whatever you are doing with full dedication and concentration, shraddham. And you do that intelligently, medham. And whatever you do is successful, yashaha. And it is accruing wisdom, prajna. Then when you have got knowledge, vidya, and that is translated into assimilated knowledge and intelligence, which is buddhi, then you are acquiring wealth that does not desert you, shriyam. What are the wealths that do not desert us? Not just money or goods, friends, family, love and affection of people that will never desert us. And that is the most valuable wealth that Mrigashirsha Nakshatra and one who is seated on that Soma Raja is going to bring. Soma also means Sa Uma. Along with Uma Devi, it is also Shiva. And Soma is the Lord of the mind, who pleases, who gives the emotional stability, emotional joy. And therefore, whenever we are emotionally joyous and stable, all beautiful things come to us. That's why it's very essential that we keep our emotional intelligence in very, very well sharpened. Never lose confidence, never lose self-esteem, never feel down, never judge yourself anything less than that you are the best person. Not best person in competitive way, but you are actually very enlightened. Your nature is to be joyful. Nobody can make you sad unless you allow them to make you sad. And therefore he is Soma. Let Soma with Mrigashirsha Nakshatra sit in your heart. Then he will be Bahudha Apyayamanaha. He will give you untold, enormous amount of enjoyable experiences. Swasti, Shraddham, Medham, Yashaha, Prajnam, Vidyam, Buddhim, Shriyam, Balam, strength, Ayushyam, long life, Arogyam, good health. When the mind is good, health will be good. Always. When our mind is pure, happy, then we also experience very good stability of both physical, mental and intellectual health. Tejaha, it also gives you luster. Luster is, what is luster? Luster is where people would like to be in your company. That is Tejas. So all of these things is Bahudha Apyayamanam. This Bahudha Apyayamanam, hey Somo Raja, please come on the Mrigashirsha Nakshatra vehicle and come to my altar. So you are doing the Purona Vakya. Now, in the Yajya, that is where you have to offer, what are we asking for? what is the one thing that every thinking person want to have? Everybody wants to procreate and get children. Everyone wants to get the worthy children. Everyone considers that his life or her life is successful when their children are doing very well. So please think about this. What is it that gives us the highest joy? We get some joy when we get promotion, we get some joy when you build a house, you get this joy, etc. Many things. You get married, you get a joy. But the greatest joy you get is when you get a child. And the greater than the greatest joy you get is when you see your children successful. When all those things are happening, when does it start? That success. That success actually starts at the time of the Garbha Dana. An extraordinary element of marriage rituals we have unfortunately given up. It's called the Garbhadana Homa. After the Saptapadi is over, before the consummation of the marriage, we perform a Homa and it's called as the Garbhadana Homa. And in that Garbhadana Homa, the newlyweds, what do they pray? They pray that may in my womb an extraordinary child be born. With that prayerful attitude, the family life should start. And that awareness must last throughout one's life. And every time you see your child, you must say, this is a gift that has been given by the Yajna Purusha, whom I have invoked in the Yajna Vedi at my wedding, in my wedding. And now see, Bahudha Apyayamanam. Again, map this mantra. Your child gives you joy and happiness every moment you are with the child, isn't it? Sometimes you may be a little irritated, but it doesn't mean your love is any less, or their love for you is any less. All that surface irritation is only small waves, that is all. As soon as they settle down, your affection and love comes back for your children. Bahuda Apyayamanam. Now you connect the Yajna mantra. In the Yajna mantra, what is that which gives you Bahuda Apyayamanam, variety of joys, is to get proper children. And to get proper and worthy children, there has to be a purification of, now he comes and says, purification of the retas. Reta prajam yajamanaya. So retaha has got two meanings. It is the garbhadana shakti of the husband and the garbhadharana shakti of the wife. So what is the indicator of garbhadana shakti and the garbhadharana shakti? It is the power of the retas, and in the Sanskrit, retas is the semen. In that a jiva will come and reside. And the recipient womb of the woman also must have done the same yajna and the same worship. Then the prajanana shakti, that prajanana shakti in the homa we are saying, yajamana to yajamana dadhatu, yajamane dadhatu. Let this power be given to the yajamana. Yajamana here includes patni. So then, the Purana Vakya and the Yajya mantra ultimately says, Bahudha Apyayamana, from where it comes is when you get good children. You know when the prayer starts? You may be surprised. As soon as the Upanayana is done. For me, Upanayana was done at my 12th year of age, 11th year of age. As soon as the Upanayana is done, we do the Agni Karya. Every day, twice we do the Agni Karya. Agni Karya is morning yajna and evening yajna we have to do after the Sandhya Vandana. Several years I have done this. And what is the mantra you use? Supraja prajaya bhuyasam suviro virai supati patya sumedha medhaya subrahma brahmacharibhi. This is the mantra we start. So what does it mean? A 8-year-old, 11-year-old child is asking for Suprajaha, give me good children.
Is it the Samhidatanam that they do?
This is Samhidatanam, yes. Suprajaha prajaya bhuyasam. May I get good children. 11-year-old child is praying for that. And how much of tapas he will have done? From the time of the Upanayana till the Samavartana Homa takes place. Before the wedding. Probably for 10 years. 10 to 12, 20, 13, 14 years. Supraja prajaya bhuyasam. May I get very worthy children. And then Suviro viraihi. Let he become a Suvira. Not just valorous, but extremely valorous and also righteously valorous. And then Supraja prajaya bhuyasam, he is also doing the meditation for his future wife. May I become a Supati. May I become a worthy husband to my wife. And together, the both of us, may we beget children who is Sumedha, people who have got very good intelligence, Medhaya Sumedha. First you get the knowledge, and that knowledge is processed and it is converted into benevolent intelligence, Sumedha, Medhaya, Subrahma. All the knowledge he acquires may be Subrahma, worthy knowledge, and Brahmachari bhihi. May I live the life of Brahmachari. Life of Brahmachari is before marriage, after marriage. Before marriage, it is absolute celibacy. After marriage, it is absolute commitment to one spouse. Subrahma Brahmachari. What happened to all these values? Who? Probably nobody taught our children that this is the ideal you have got to live. If we had taught that at 11, 12 years, and then the father or the guru sits next to them and constantly, every day reinforces these values, we will definitely create rishis. And such priyanam priyatamam Mrigashirsham Nakshratram asti, such an inspiration, because Soma is the Lord of the mind. So you please bring such an inspiration. May I beget such children. Let us at least talk to our children that this is the vision of the sages. Then what happens? They will honor what the marital relationship is. Otherwise, what a tragedy. They don't realize how sacred is this relationship. My heart bleeds when I hear people don't understand this extraordinary value. Anyway, He Soma, Tasmai Havisha Vithema. Because I want all these things. Tasmai means because. I want all these things. Havisha Vidhema, Naha Dvipade Chatuspade, Shanna Edhi, Sham Edhi. Naha for us, Dvipade, our bipeds and quadrupeds, Sham Edhi. Edhi is a very interesting verb. It means pravriddhi. It is not just a protection. It is prospering and protecting myself throughout my prosperity. So like that you please come, grant me prosperity for my bipeds and quadrupeds, so that I can see my children, pashyate putram of this caliber, pashyate pautram, grandchildren of this caliber, prajaya pashubhihi. They actually creating children of that caliber I want to see. So what a standard is set by the rishis. What a standard a father and a mother should have in before them. That is how great sages were created, because somebody in their childhood sat with this young person and then talked about these values. Now the time has come when we should. Otherwise, this great culture will perish, because everything will be what I like today. That is all. And also a cavalier attitude. This is something I like today. Tomorrow, if I don't like, I will leave it. What kind of a life is that? Not the life of a rishi. Iti.